Hi Keith, thank you for joining us. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and why the subject of dementia care is important to you.
Okay. Well, I was until 2010 a head teacher of a large primary school and doing a master's in educational leadership at the local university and advisor to some schools in Canterbury. And my mother had Alzheimer's, which she developed in her mid 70s, and that really was my only personal encounterance with the condition. I've read about it, I'd heard about it a little bit in the media, but knew very little until the point where I was diagnosed aged 55 back in 2010. Since when, after a period of coming to terms with it, which lasted probably 3 or 4 months, I was determined to try and find out more about the condition, using the old saying, that knowledge is power. I felt if I knew more about it, I could handle it better, because all of the stuff that I previously was aware of was not particularly constructive and not particularly helpful. So I read stuff, I listened, I met a consultant psychologist who became a good friend and still is, who really sort of came and sat with me and talked with me and encouraged me, because he recognized that there was things I could do alongside him as a professional and a service user combination that might be useful to both of us. So he really was the start of this journey into activism and deeper knowledge. I suppose the first year or two of trying to sort of embark upon that, I was keen in the sense of reading. I was keen to sit down and listen. So often I'd attend meetings and say very little. And I guess people nowadays are quite surprised to hear that, unless they were around at the time, because that's what I was doing. I was soaking stuff up, because I thought if I listened to people, I'd have a better understanding and therefore be able to offer more.
And since your diagnosis, you've wrote a few books.
Yeah.
Also appeared in a short film about your experience.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to catch that?
I did. It was very, very good, very powerful, and then very relatable as well. Speaking as someone who hasn't experienced dementia personally myself, there was something I think that anybody could take away and come away with a bit more understanding as well.
Sure. Sure.
But what do you think care staff need to know about a person who has dementia to help care for them?
Well, first of all, I guess the much of what I'm going to say is what you would call as common sense, but unfortunately, common sense often is something we all struggle to sort of grasp. But first of all, I guess everyone is unique and different. So each person that's being cared for is unique and different. And secondly, I guess it's terribly easy to see the person as the problem, but the problem is the problem, not the person. And it's a case of caring for the person, but treating the problem.
Yeah, that makes sense. So at the moment, the project that we're working on right now, we're developing a duet care dementia training hub for care staff. Do you think that looking after care staff would benefit the people they care for?
Oh, without doubt. As a school leader myself, I had a large staff that I was responsible for caring for, as well as caring for 470 children. And I knew full well that if my staff were struggling, then the children wouldn't get the education and the care that they required and that they deserved. So absolutely, it's crucially important that those leading any kind of organizations care for their staff in order to care for the people that are using their service. And staff also need to take some responsibility for caring for themselves as well. We all give, but there's a limit to what you can give. You have to refill the reservoir, as I put it, in order to be able to continue to provide care and support for anybody.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, I think we've covered everything here. Just wanted to thank you for your time with us. Hopefully, through watching this conversation, people will feel like they'd like to contribute to this project. It's very exciting, and yeah, let's see where it goes. Thank you for your time.
Because it's necessary.
Yeah.
You know, there's no question that the care industry and the professional carers as well as the family carers are undervalued, and that needs to be addressed. No question about it. Society cannot afford to continue the way that it's been going in the past. The new normal has got to be a better normal than the old one.
Definitely.